It is vital for all Hart operatives to be trained, fully competent in all the Hart competencies in order for them to be safe, work safely and provide assurance to the trust and members of the public that we can respond in a safe manner at all time and be very efficient in our mission, which is dealing with patients in hazardous area.
What they bring is a unique skill set that the ambulance service has never had. So once over, they would always have to stay back until the fire service of the other rescue agencies brought them to them. Now it gives them a chance to be able to get in there, which means the patient gets the treatment as soon as possible.
We have 5 teams within the North East Ambulance Service, Hart team, and within them teams we have an education lead, and the education lead's main role is to make sure that all of the training and the training records, importantly, are kept up to date on a weekly and a monthly basis.
They need to be able to operate in breathing apparatus, they need to operate in water, they need to operate in urban search and rescue, safe working at height, confined space. In order to maintain all those skills, we have built in a training week every 5 weeks in order to maintain those competencies and make sure that they are working safely in those environments and being able to respond to the patient in a safe manner and ensure that we comply with legislation.
We actually train every 5 weeks, different disciplines, so today was swift water. It's important to train along with your own staff but also with the fire service, so on real life jobs you know how they work and how you can work as part of a team.
Everybody knows if you know what each other are doing, the team functions so much more efficiently.
When you turn up at a job, you each know what your tasks are and you can communicate with each other.
It's an exercise that's never been replicated before. The fire service using cutting equipment in water and ourselves doing patient assessment and extrication in fast flowing water.
It's benefits for not just us as responders and commanders, but obviously benefits the patients potentially. Tees barrage is really good because we can control the water. The car's bolted down in the water and the water pressure's put through.
These conditions can be repeated time and time again, so if we do get something wrong, we can start again, have another go, put it right and put it into our procedures for future.
The Hart team skill set was designed after assessment done through the National Risk Register and also at local level. And here in the North East, certainly in the last few years, we've seen significant events, certainly around flooding, fluvial flooding, surface water flooding, the tidal surge, and these really reinforce the evidence that we need to train and develop that capability to maintain our competency to the right level for our staff to be safe, but also to deliver the best level of care to the patients.
It's critical that they are trained to the highest possible level and they set their own standards. And what we've found as an external training provider, what they expect from us is that standard and then the next standard up, and they push constantly to achieve more.
I think we work quite well together as a team, and then on real jobs if practicing like this makes it easier.
As far as working together, it's been a spot on day, to tell you the truth, and hopefully again more to come.
This has proven to be very valuable because we have seen those opportunities coming back to us, and we have had some training opportunities offered to us with partners, fire and police, to share their training since we've started to share our training with them.
Today's been the start of the rescue phase of the Hart-specific Work at Height course. We're going to go and work on a lattice structure about 30 to 40 metres high. That'll allow the Hart operatives to put into practice the skills they've learned at lower level, i.e. working at height, moving around safely, selecting and putting in place their own anchor systems, and just seeing how they operate more than 10 metres off the ground. I'm going to use the lattice work structure on the rear of the climbing wall because that really best represents some of the steel structures that they may be faced with in real life, like crane structures or scaffolding, and it'll give them more sort of real life application of the skills they've learned. Not all patients to deal with will be on the roadside, many may be in difficult to reach locations. Training like this allows the Hart team to not only access the casualties but look after themselves should somebody come by an accident. The lad we're training today, he's done very, very well. He's got no background in this whatsoever, but he's stuck in, he's learnt well, and he's now very confident in the techniques he's used. He's demonstrated them independently throughout, and I'm very, very happy with him.
The first one is a laminar flow. It's the most kind of common sort of flow you get. Today we've been doing the theory components of the DEFRA Modular 3 course, which is swift water and flood rescue technician. and then over the rest of the week we'll be doing the practical elements of the same course.
The training week, it's a valid element of assuring ourselves that they are prepared to respond to any type of incident which they will be deemed to be responsible to respond as part of the Nauru service specification.
Been doing a little bit of theory in the classroom about how to read the river and how the hydroponics of the water work, and then we've been putting a little bit into practice how you would rescue a casualty from moving water. Putting the theory back into practice really brings the course together. To do it out down on the ground, it brings how difficult it can actually be to do.
Today we've been doing day 3 of the Swiftwater Rescue Technician course, which is a DEFRA Modular 5 course as part of the Water Commander training for North East Ambulance Service.
This training is critical. It's become one of the biggest risks we have in the UK. It's second on the national risk registers. It's flooding and water-related incidents.
Working along waterline, river and seafront is very, very regular occurrence for us. It's on average between 20 and 30 incidents per month, so it is a very frequent deployment.
Communication is the fundamental part of it. Without that, the incident can take a lot longer because all the other services are practicing the same sort of communication in line with the DEFRA concept of operations.
It's a very challenging environment working in darkness, certainly around the river. The risk element is multiplied quite significantly, and for us as commanders it's a serious challenge in order to make sure that our personnel are working safely in order to operate in those environments, and also to make sure that we can achieve what we need to achieve, which is rescue and treat the casualties.
There isn't a second chance if they get it wrong. If they mess up and don't put their systems in place, they'll lose an operative down a river in a flood condition.
Today we've been using these facilities to practice what we would call a hardware in our breathing apparatus and fire ground kit. It is the sort of scenario we may be asked or requested to perform in for the fire service during an incident. For 2 sessions, one being in the airplane fuselage, which was described as a hardware with smoke, just to mimic a smoky environment for the staff to work in during an incident. Second part of today was all to do with the potential of a helicopter crash at our local regional trauma centre, to get the staff into the method of searching and assisting and packaging casualties in that environment.
Communication is really difficult, and we make it even more difficult by not giving them radios. You couldn't see your hand in front of you. So it's more communication exercise of feeling, hand signals, and obviously communication by voice. And really it's to take them to that point of exhaustion so they realise in an incident what that point is.
This sort of training is part of our national competencies, and that's my role within the team as an educator, to make sure the staff are up to standard. That means I can assess the staff during the incidents and the practice sessions to see strengths and weaknesses which we can work upon during the training sessions, which will facilitate after this using action plans and such like.
If we can work together, then we can come together and orientate all our efforts on the extrication of any casualties which may be involved in an incident.
What's also important to notice is that Hart staff, their confidence and their competency level has increased significantly over the last 2 years because of the changes in the format and how we approach our training. We have emphasised on the individual competencies and make sure that each one of our staff are fully competent and assessed accordingly by external providers. This again gives the staff confidence, and this gives the trust, the assurance that we are fully operational and ready for when we are needed to respond.